News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris. There's your closing bell for this Tuesday on Wall Street, where traders held off any big bets on stocks and bonds ahead of a key inflation report and oil resuming its advance. We bring you the closing numbers each day here at Bloomberg. The S&P 500 lost 25 points, NASDAQ down 160 points, and the Dow is down 184 points. The 10-year Treasury yield at 4.69%, the 2-year yield at 4.22%. The Philadelphia Semiconductor Index gained 0.8%, led by ASML. It advanced 3.7% in regular trading. Let's turn now to the latest from the Middle East. Pakistan's defense minister continues to claim that the U.S. and Iran are close to a deal over the Strait of Hormuz, as Yemeni authorities say 4 people were killed by Iran-backed Houthi rebels attacking a vessel in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. The Houthi attacks could reignite Yemen's civil war and open a new front in the Middle East. Bloomberg's Israel bureau chief Ethan Bronner says this situation just keeps changing.
Yesterday, the president was talking big guns about how he's going to demand 30 things from the Iranians. The day before, the Iranians were demanding 30 things from the Americans. Today, the Pakistani defense minister is saying that the U.S. and Iran are close to some sort of arrangement over the Strait of Hormuz. So it's hard to know. I mean, obviously, there's some effort to get this thing done, but it's also clear that each side suspects that it can outweigh the other.
Bloomberg's Ethan Bronner in Tel Aviv. Talks between Iran and Oman about reopening Hormuz to some maritime shipping have also reportedly reached an advanced stage. Crude oil now more than 1.5% higher, WTI topping $83 a barrel, and Brent crude more than $89 a barrel. Turning now to that deadly earthquake that hit Colombia yesterday, toppling buildings and burying people under rubble in the Pacific region and the central Andes. The magnitude 7.4 quake has left more than 180 dead, with 3,000 unaccounted for. Colombia's president plans to declare an economic emergency to bolster its response, as the country's new president, who was sworn in just on Friday, faces a tough and early test of his abilities to handle a crisis. Back in the U.S., this is primary day in 6 states, and the debate over the Democratic Party's direction is playing out in the governor's race in Wisconsin. Bloomberg's Kaylee Lines has details.
There is a Democratic socialist who right now appears like she could be the frontrunner, Francesca Hong, who, of course, is a very progressive former chef who has kind of skyrocketed in terms of popularity in the state of Wisconsin. She looks like she may come out on top.
Bloomberg's Kaylee Lines reports a progressive and a moderate are also squaring off in Minnesota's Democratic Senate primary. And in South Carolina, 10 Republicans are running to replace the late Senator Lindsey Graham on South Carolina's November ballot. As for the midterms, Ipsos polling gives Democrats 4-1 odds of winning the House of Representatives. Public Affairs Chair Cliff Young.
This will be a difficult year for the president and his party, Republicans. As the mood goes, typically goes the House, and we're putting high likelihood for the Democrats taking the House. This is a blue year. The question really is by how much, given the mood of the country today.
Ipsos Public Affairs Chair Cliff Young on balance of power. White House officials have reportedly asked the Justice Department to consider a new prosecution of David Hearn, the former Olympian accused of vandalizing the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. The Wall Street Journal reports the Justice Department is exploring whether another type of case, likely based on misdemeanor allegations, might be possible after U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro dropped the original case. President Trump has repeatedly criticized Pirro's decision. Intel shares ended the trading day little changed after raising $20 billion in an upsized share sale, a third more than it was targeting when it announced the deal yesterday. Bloomberg Tech host Ed Ludlow.
Yeah, initially it offered to go to market for $15 billion, so $20 billion is also kind of a response to the outsized demand. You know, Bloomberg's reporting that there was $100 billion of demand on this deal. $95 a share is where it seems to have priced, which is a bit of a discount.
Bloomberg's Ed Ludlow. United Healthcare murder suspect Luigi Mangione has had another court appearance where the judge has decided the jury will remain anonymous. Mangione has pleaded not guilty to all charges in the killing of CEO Brian Thompson in December of 2024. He faces life in prison if he's convicted. Jury selection is set to begin September 8th, and the trial is expected to last 6 to 8 weeks. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.